Go on, break it, my tech lead said with a knowing grin. He must have seen my nervous expression as I stared at a wall of red error messages in front of me. If it's not broken, you're not working, he smiled. Haha, okay, I laughed nervously as he walked off. Yeah, easy for you to say, I thought. You'd be able to fix it in a minute. I might be stuck on this for hours or days. I don't even know how I broke it this bad. We had just wrapped up most of the onboarding tasks for my first job as a junior software developer, and I'd finally gotten access to our code base and spun up the app, only to immediately break it. I mean, it's not like I hadn't seen a broken build before. When I was learning to code, my app was in a constant state of brokenness. But now this felt different. This wasn't my code base anymore. Someone was actually paying me to be here. I felt like I had to show I was capable of writing some decent, working, non-broken software. I frowned at the errors in front of me and thought of my coding teacher typing out working solutions from his head. And it works, he would say, looking up at us to see if we had followed. That was his catchphrase, and my classmates and I started joking about how often he would say that, because we almost never did. At least not on the first try. But okay, he was a super competent developer, right? We were just students trying to stay afloat. I took a deep breath and dug into the first error. Okay, no idea what that means. Maybe Google knows. So I just copied the whole error message over to Google, and to my relief, someone on Stack Overflow had actually had the same error, and there were some pretty helpful explanations on there. I didn't realize it at the time, but that instance of breaking the build and digging in to figure out how to fix it would be the first in a long journey of doing exactly that, day in and day out, no matter how far I advanced in my programming skills. When I look back now, I can see a key mindset shift that needed to happen for me to get more comfortable with broken builds and errors. We're trained to try to avoid errors, to see them as a sign that we've done something wrong. In school, if you make errors on your exam, you'll get a bad grade, and there'll be negative consequences for that. But in software engineering, encountering errors and the incremental process of fixing them is actually an integral part of how applications are built. It's not realistic to expect ourselves to just write working code every time straight from our heads. That's not necessarily what competence looks like, as I had thought in the beginning. My coding teacher had known the solutions from his head because he'd done the same ones dozens of times for other classes. When I shifted my mindset from an error means I did something wrong to an error means I'm making progress, I actually started having way more fun. I'm now wildly entertained by the absurd ways that the code can be laughably broken. And even better, when the code doesn't work like I expect it to, that's actually a great opportunity to dig in and understand why. Like that, the learning is built into the process of my everyday work, and I don't feel the need to always spend a bunch of extra time learning on the side. Fix one error, and the next one in itself is a sign that you're moving forward, usually. Making incremental progress in small iterations is key to improving our code and our skills. So go on, break it. Learn something, get to the next error, and eventually you'll have some working software in front of you. Congrats. Thanks for watching. I'm Lindsay, and I'll see you next time.